Welcome to the IVF Journey with Dr. Michael Chapman, the podcast for couples who struggle with infertility and want to fulfill their dreams of becoming parents. In this podcast, you'll learn actionable strategies to deal with infertility from Dr. Michael Chapman, or Prof as he's affectionately known. Prof is the co-founder of IVF Australia and is a leading Australian infertility specialist who has helped over 3,000 couples realise their dreams of becoming parents. To access previous episodes packed with ideas, solutions and tips that actually work, head over to Dr. Chapman's IVF podcast on iTunes. You can also ask questions by contacting Dr. Chapman's rooms on 1800 111 483 or by emailing him michael.chapman@ivf.com.au.
That first cry of a baby born after the long journey of IVF remains one of the most beautiful experiences in the world. As an obstetrician and an IVF specialist, I've had the privilege of experiencing this over many thousands of times in my long career, but I still remain moved by each baby's first cry. It signifies the end of a long journey and the beginning of a new life. This is Professor Michael Chapman, co-founder of IVF Australia and host of the IVF Journey podcast. Thanks for tuning in. To access all the previous episodes, head over to my website www.theivfjourney.com and select IVF Journey Podcast from the navigation menu. You'll also be able to find the various services that we provide at IVF Australia. So in the last episode we talked about the way in which sperm is produced, how we test what a normal sperm test should be, and that leads us on now to talk about the causes of reduced sperm counts. The most common reason for low sperm counts is actually that we don't know. The majority of investigations reveal nothing. However, in the ones where there is no sperm, it is more likely to find a problem than when there is only low sperm counts. So let's start with no sperm. It's called azospermia. The diagnostic variances are those that are caused by hormone deficiencies in the brain. These are rare, but they are a cause where all the cells in the production line are there, ready to go, but there's no message being sent to them to get on with the job, to switch on the machines. So other causes of azospermia are where genetically the testicle was never given any of the cells are the starting point for spermatogenesis. This syndrome is called Sertoli cell-only syndrome. Sertoli cells are in the testicle, they produce the testosterone, but the Leydig cells are the ones where sperm come from, and if there are none of those, there's never going to be any sperm. So there's no raw material to make sperm. And that obviously is a hopeless situation in terms of getting a pregnancy from that man. There are also genetic abnormalities where we find that the testis has only small nests of cells, little groups of cells that have spermatogenic potential. The commonest one of these in a male is one extra X chromosome. So boys are XY, girls are XX, but if a male ends up with an XXY, an extra X, it has an impact on the laying down of the cells that produce sperm. So we always do a genetic testing of the male to make sure that's not their problem if they have no sperm. So in the production line, the lack of sperm production is obviously either hormonally related or genetically caused by an absence of the producing cells. But you can have a testicle that has the full production line going, but the sperm can't get out. So this happens genetically in one condition called cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a condition that affects the lungs, but it also, the genetic mutation that causes it also stops the formation of the tube between the testicle and the prostate gland, the vas deferens. And obviously if you don't have a tunnel to carry the goods, and then the goods aren't going to get there. So absent vas deferens. This is usually diagnosed by detecting the CF gene mutation, but you can physically examine the scrotum and not find the vas, and you know where you are. Other causes are blockage of the tubes. I mean, the tubes are produced, but an infection like gonorrhea, chlamydia, may end up causing blockage of the tube, just as fallopian tubes in females are blocked by such infections. The other things that can suppress sperm production after the presence of a normal production line are stress. So just as in women, who get very stressed, say before exams, their periods stop. And their periods stop because the pituitary gland has been switched off by the brain because of the stress hormones in the brain. That is obviously reversible if that is the cause. The other possible suppression of sperm production is with the use of steroids, and I'm seeing this more and more commonly, that men are coming along with poor sperm counts and they confess to being gym junkies, and in that gym junkie genre, taking steroids seems to be a common practice to bolster your muscles so you look even hunkier than you should do. It switches off the pituitary gland, and in doing so switches off sperm production. So stay away from drugs like testosterone and other steroids. So they're the majority of the causes of male infertility. And as I said earlier, the majority does not actually give us an answer. We can do all the tests and we can go exclude all those things that I've talked about, but quite often men with low sperm counts, we have no explanation, which is extremely frustrating. But what we know is we only need 1 sperm per egg to do IVF with ICSI, and we'll talk about more about treatments in the next episode. And don't forget that you can access all the previous episodes by going to our website www.theivfjourney.com and select IVF Journey Podcast from the navigation menu.
Thank you for listening to the IVF Journey with Dr. Michael Chapman, the podcast which helps couples negotiate their way through the IVF journey, all the way to parenthood. You can also ask questions by contacting Dr. Chapman's rooms on 1800 111 483 or by emailing him michael.chapman@ivf.com.au.